Yes, guys, we are back for a big video, guys, talking about Alexis Mac Allister. Looks like he's on his way to be Liverpool's first midfield signing in 3 years. And with me today to talk about this, we've got Ricky for 1892 Reds TV. How you doing, Rick?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Busy week. Busy last week. One more week, then I'm off work for a week. So, yeah, can't complain too much. And the sun's out. So, yeah, thanks for having me on.
Hey, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Big up to everyone in the chat as well. Andy, Jen, Hamza. Hope everyone's doing well. Psychedelic, Kay, John in the house. How you doing? Footy boy. Who else we got here? And everyone else. Daz in the chat. I see Carmino, Fuzzy, Ens, Jen in the chat, K-Matt, Bajan, everyone in the chat. You're all doing well. Big up to everyone. Guys, don't forget to make sure you hit that like button as soon as you come into the video, guys. We've got 47 likes already, so make sure you're smashing that like button, guys. 74 people already in here. And guys, don't forget to go and subscribe to Ricky and Luke's channel, guys. They've just hit their 800th subscribers, so big up to them on their way to 1,000. So make sure if you've not, go and check them out and subscribe to their channel. Ricky, signed a midfielder, man. Well, it looks like it. Look, the ink ain't on the paper yet, but by all purposes, Liverpool have signed a midfielder. How are you feeling?
I mean, it's only took 3 years since the last one we signed in Thiago. Yeah, I mean, it's a good signing, I think. Depending what type of midfielder you're looking for. I've got a few mates that said that he's the type of player that reminds them of Gudonga at Milan, at City. Sorry, he could be our version of him.
That's a good point.
He's good on the ball. He's strong on the ball. He can score. He can assist. We've seen him do it for Brighton. He's the type of player, like a Gini Wijnaldum type player, but I think he's a level above Gini Wijnaldum in terms of that. So yeah, Mac 10. I keep seeing all over social media. Listen, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because obviously it ain't signed. I ain't seen him leaning with the shirt on yet. So who knows what you never know what City are like. They'll just come and smack 60 million on the table for him. But let's hopefully get this done this week and move on to the next target.
Yeah, I agree. Look, with the City stuff, I don't actually think City are in for Alexis Mac Allister. I think they got other players they're looking at. I think by the looks of it, they're keeping Gundogan, ain't he? He's going to sign a new deal with City by the looks of it. I mean, why would you let him go? You know, he's basically won them the Premier League the last few weeks and the FA Cup. All right, so why would you let him go? He's tremendous for them. So he's their captain, their leader. There's no way they should be letting him go right now.
No.
I think they're looking at other targets as well. I just don't think they're ever in for Mac Allister. Because if City were in for Mac Allister, I think City would have just gone and got it done straight away. No messing around.
There's rumours he rejected Man United, Mac Allister, wasn't there?
That's just fantastic.
A few players have done that recently. He's joined us.
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah. So Fabrizio Romano has been saying that other teams, apparently he's got a release clause, and his release clause is a bit strange. It's not that release clause of like, you know, you got a player, you go and pay that and you get that player. It's not that kind of release clause, apparently. So, you know, we don't know what the valuation of the transfer is going to be because they said it's going to be an undisclosed fee. But there's a lot of rumours going around online at the moment. It's going to be between 38 and 40 million quid. Now, if it's 38 to 40 million, 38 million pound, 40 million pound for a player that, look, he's a talented boy, there's no doubt about it, was an integral part in the World Cup for Argentina as well. You know, he was probably Argentina's best midfielder. And I think he put I think he was Argentina's man of the match in the World Cup final. Tremendous little player. And if we're getting in for that 38 to 40 million pound mark, where you're seeing Mason Mount probably going to Man United for 60. Now, one thing I will say about Liverpool, Rick, is when Liverpool go in for transfers, they try and get their player. they're very good at negotiating a good price most of the time, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen it with Jota. I think we paid 45 million for Jota, but we didn't start paying till the summer after. So we turned up winning for a year before we paid anything. And then we started paying for him. We've seen it with Thiago. We got a good price for him. Salah, 35 million. Gakpo, 35 to 40 million. Konate, 35 million. I mean,
yeah. I mean, Alisson at 63 million looks like a steal.
Yep. Life at 75 looks a steal as well for what we've done with him there. Yep. Liverpool don't get mugged off in terms of fees for players. I think the only person of recent times that we've signed for big money that hasn't really lived up to the hype is Naby Keita. I can't tell you another player that has been a miss with the player we've signed for money. There was talk of it being 70 million for Mac Allister at the start. Then it went down to 55, 60, 50, 55. And now all of a sudden it's coming out, it's going to be up to 45 million tops. I mean, if you can get Mac Allister in for 45 million, you can potentially go get another 2-3 midfielders than what you was all going to pay out on Jude Bellingham. Why wouldn't you? I mean,
it's just business sense, ain't it? It's business sense. Big up Wolf F5 with super chat. Big up to you, my friend. He says, big up to me and Ricky. Big up to you, man, and the chat. Yeah, nice to see Wolf FI in the house. Look, my man comes through, you know. My man comes through.
No, I'm still, there's reservations there. There's reservations still with them people.
My man coming through. Look, Liverpool got a lot to do this summer. It's an important summer for Liverpool Football Club. Obviously, look, we're all celebrating at the moment. Most Liverpool channels and most football channels and stuff like that have basically been talking about the Mac Allister signing. Yes, as you said, the ink is not on the paperwork yet. We haven't seen the Axeline now and the shirt in the hand. But by all accounts, this is pretty much a done deal. Him coming through the door, I think, is an exceptional talent. Look, I've been talking about him for a while, Mac Allister. I think he's one of them players that go under the radar because he might not be the flashiest of midfielders in the world. So it goes under the radar what he does. But he's, you know, everyone talks about Caicedo at Brighton, and rightly so, because he is a tremendous talent, and there's no doubt about that. But I don't think Caicedo is as good as he is without Mac Allister, in my opinion. You know, you've seen it at times when Caicedo's playing without Mac Allister, when Mac Allister's being rested. And I think Mac Allister is an integral part of what they do together at Brighton. And look at him at Argentina. You know, he got in that role. They had Enzo Fernandez playing a little bit deeper in him at times, or a Rodrigo de Paul. And, you know, Mac Allister was allowed to, you know, be a bit more attack-minded in that Argentinian midfield in the World Cup. And you can see how good he is on the ball, Ricky. Ain't he? He's got talent. He's got a pass on him. He's press resistant. You know, he's got a little bit of skill in him if he wants to go past the player. You know, might not be lightning quick, but he's an all-round midfielder in today's game, ain't he?
Yeah, I mean, if you said to me that we were going to sign a Premier League proven World Cup winning centre midfielder for up to 45 million, I'd be like, no, you're having a laugh. There's not many top level centre midfielders out there. And he is one. I mean, so I'm glad we're getting that one in the bag, early doors in the window. Looks like it's going to be done this week, so that's one in. And then he's the main centre midfield target this summer. He's the big name centre midfield target. Now the players on the list are the ones we can now go get and turn our attentions to. We've still got money to spend. I'm hoping we bring another 3 centre midfielders in, as well as a backup centre half. I'm not too sure about a right back cover because I don't think Trent will be the formation with the Trent into the midfield don't work unless you've got Konate at centre back.
Definitely.
So it's going to be crucial to see who we get as the backup centre back that comes in. There's talk of it being Pavard from Bayern Munich for €30 million in his last year of his deal. But I'd also like, if there's money still in there after we've done the centre midfielders and the centre back, I'd like a backup winger to Mo Salah. There's talk about Chiesa from Juve that's available for 35 million this season. Obviously, he's had his injury problems that have stopped his career a little bit at Juve. But I think once you get the players you want, then you start to get the outgoings out. The Kelleres will go. One of Gomez or Matip will go. And then whatever money you've got after that, then maybe we do look at a potential right back up to Trent. But Timber's available who can play centre-back and right-back. So maybe that's what Liverpool are looking at. The backup centre-back will be able to play a full-back role as well. So it sort of kills two birds with one stone, really.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all that. Big up, Jem, and the super sticker. Much love to you, Jem. Thank you very much. Yeah, look, Liverpool still need to do a lot of business this summer. If Mac Allister's the first one through the door, it's a great start. As you say, we ain't going to know really what the official bid is because it's undisclosed, but there'll be rumours out there that are probably nearer the truth around the £40 million mark, which is a fantastic bit of business by Liverpool yet again. And that frees up money to still buy players elsewhere in the squad. Now, Liverpool are very much linked at the moment. Neil Jones was doing his bit today on Redmen TV and saying that Liverpool are very, very, very interested in Thuram from Nice. And we're hearing tonight that his dad, obviously French international legend, is urging his son to move to Liverpool. So he wants him to play under Jurgen Klopp. So Thuram from Nice, apparently he's got a transfer valuation of around €45 million, which is about, I don't know, 42 million quid. How do you feel about that one, Ricky, if that one came through?
Yeah, I mean, something we haven't had since Harman, really, is a big presence in midfield, 6'4". We've seen Liverpool's midfield get bullied a few times this season in terms of physicality, pace and strength. To have someone that's 6'4", big strides, pace, power, will stop that this season. And I mean, from what I've seen, I'm not going to sit here and say I've seen Thuram play week in, week out, but from what I've seen of him, he looks a very good talent. 23 years of age, very good mates with Konate in the French under-21s and the squad, again with Kone. I'm all for Thuram to come in and to show what he can do in the Premier League. Like I said, he's a big boy. He's not going to come here and get bullied by anyone. And that's what we need. We need a bit of naughtiness in that midfield, a bit of strength. So it's exciting times, really. Like I see someone put in the chat, how much money do I think we've got? I think Liverpool were looking at Jude Bellingham. We knew Jude Bellingham was going to cost up to 150 million. So there's money there. We had the money for Jude Bellingham. We just realised we had a bigger rebuild in midfield than what we needed. So there's 150 to 200 million to spend. There's got to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been... Like, we've been saving up for Jude Bellingham for 2 to 3 seasons. So the money's there. We're now using it on a range of different players. So that it's got to be done. But Thuram for 40 to 45 million, again, is still, I think, in the terms of what players are going for in the transfer market. We're seeing Chelsea overpaying for players. So you've got to look at it in that context, that the prices are good that we're looking at. Kone, I think it was 25 to 30 million euro, another good player by the look of it in the German league. And the price is good for us. So I'm hoping we can get it done nice and early for Klopp for pre-season and get the players integrated into the system that we want to play. And then if it's the same old stuff as this season going into next season, then that's when Klopp starts to get looked at more because he's got his players in. We've spent money this summer on the players he wants. No excuses for me, and there's no excuses on the owners. They need to put their hands in their pockets and spend money this summer because you don't get top 4 for one season, it don't really affect the value of the club, or it don't really affect your pockets as much.
No.
You miss Champions League 2 or 3 times, then you'll start to notice the extra 5-10 million. Where is it? Why haven't we got it? Because we ain't got Champions League football.
Yeah, I mean, this season, it's a weird one because I've been saying that as well. Because this season, like Liverpool, everyone's worried because obviously we're not going to make a chunk of money going into this season because we're not in Champions League. But because of the way Liverpool's finances are dealt, actually going into next April when we get all the new revenue stuff and all the costs and all that, Liverpool will make equal profit next year as they would the year just gone because we finished in the Europa League. The bonuses on wages are going to come down massively, so the profit's going to be pretty much the same. You'll see a 15 million to 20 million pound profit and still massive turnover in the football club. As you say, the only issue with Liverpool, if they go in Europa League 2 or 3 years in a row, that's when it starts to be a pain and an issue. But this summer, when I remember all the people with headlines in the like papers and online going like, no Champions League football's going to derail Liverpool's season. And I think it's David Lynch. Is it David? Oh, is it David Lynch, the bloke, football insider?
Yeah, David Lynch from Football Insider. Yeah,
yeah, he's one of the top ones now, and he was basically saying it don't really matter this season because the way Liverpool work their wages, especially, and plus there's no more paying out for Anfield because that's going to be completed at the start of the season or a couple of weeks into the season. So going into this summer, financially, Liverpool ain't got to worry too much about money. So they can just get these deals done and get back into that top four, which, we'll go talk about that in a minute. But yeah, look, Mac Allister and Thuram, these are the kind of players Liverpool are looking at. Obviously, there's another player called Lavia from Southampton that a lot of people are high on. Very, very good footballer, kind of like a DM, but not your sort of old-fashioned DM, more of a ball-playing DM. And obviously, Man City loanee. I think Man City have got a buyback clause the following year if you don't go anywhere this summer. Decent player. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think Liverpool are going to be... I'd be surprised if Liverpool are in for Lavia. And the reason I'd be surprised if Liverpool are in for him, because Liverpool got Stefan Bajcetic. And I think they look at him. He might not be as good as Lavia right now, but I think Liverpool might be looking at him and thinking, a couple of years' time, he could be just as good as Lavia if he carries on his development in the first team and in the training and all that sort of stuff under Jurgen Klopp. So do we need to go and waste 40 million on a Lavia when you've got a Stefan here who could probably get to that level anyway? What do you reckon, Rick?
Yeah, I don't think we go for Lavia. I think they want 50 mil for him because City have got the buyback clause next summer for 40 mil. So they want to make that extra 10 mil on top of it now. I don't think we sign a 6. No, I think you'll see you got Stefan Bajcetic, Fabinho, and I think Jordan Henderson will get turned into a 6. Not turned into one, like he will play more games as a 6 than anywhere else if we do sign 3 midfielders. I'm not too sure on Lavia. I don't think he's what we need. There's also talks about the kid in Spain for Celta Vigo, who's got that release clause of 35 million.
Oh, yes.
And the thing that helps with him, he's under 21, so he won't take up a non-homegrown spot if he comes to Liverpool. So that Liverpool got to look at that sort of side of it as well with the non-homegrown. Listen, I keep seeing people talking about the non-homegrown. Liverpool are not the only team that's affected by non-homegrown. The way we get made out to be the team struggling most with non-homegrown nonsense, it just means if you ain't got enough, you just have a smaller squad.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a 25-man squad, you name it like a 21 to 22-year-old squad.
Yeah, I saw that the other day when they were chatting about it, because they were saying that the transfer window could affect what Liverpool do in it because of the homegrown rate. But if they decide to go against that homegrown rota, that Liverpool just have a smaller squad next season.
Which by 3 players.
I'm not fussed about because we're in the Europa League, and I think in Europa League we can get away with playing more of the under-21s in Europa League group stages in a way, because the group stages are going to be quite comfortable stages. It's not like Champions League group stages where you got to have strong teams.
Yeah.
But in the Europa League stages, Liverpool pretty much probably guaranteed to get quite a nice group. So in that stage, you can probably play maybe your Harvey Elliott's, your Carvalho's, your Tyler Mortons, and your Curtis Jones, all these sort of players you can probably give time to with some senior players. So you're right. I don't think this season coming, a 25-man squad, not having a 25-man squad is the end of the world. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah, that's it, Gabriel. Veiga, is it? A Veiga? Yeah, there's a lot of talk about him. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't really know much about him. I don't really know much. I don't know about you, Rick. I don't know a lot about him, but there's apparently a lot of talk about him. A lot of clubs. This is the geezer apparently Man City are looking at, because apparently is his agent the same agent as Pep or something like that?
No, apparently his agent, I heard his agent was Pep's brother.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's City done. That's
yeah.
So yeah, apparently City are looking at him. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know this kid. I know what he does.
He scored 2 last night though, didn't he, against Barcelona in the league?
Yeah. I mean, Rashford scored 2 against Barcelona.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I haven't seen much of him, but apparently he's a talent. It's only because the Newcastle journalists have come out today and said that because he's one of their main targets for Newcastle. But Newcastle, like sources to Newcastle, have said that his preference is Liverpool over Newcastle. So, yeah, I guess he's one of the 30 names on the list that we've got after Mac Allister. So
there's a lot of names on this league. Big up Darlington says his names. Big up to some of you guys in the chat as well, Arj and Darlington and Simi. Saying he changed his agent a couple of days ago. Interesting. Do you guys know why he changed his agent? Do you guys know why he changed his agent? Let me know in the chat. If you know why he changed his agent, do let us know in the chat, guys. We've got over 200 people in here right now. Guys, make sure you hit them likes. We've got 100 likes as well. Keep smashing the like button, guys. Let's get them likes closer to 150 if we can. And guys, don't forget to go and subscribe to Ricky's channel and Luke's channel at the 1892 Reds TV, guys. They're on 800 subscribers now. Trying to get to that magical 1,000 barrier before the season starts. So yeah, if you've not gone, go and give them a sub, guys. I will put the link in the chat. Right, their link for their channels in the chat, guys. So please go and hit that link and subscribe to them, guys. I appreciate it. Liverpool family is one family, guys. We all stick together. So there's some you won't believe this, Ricky, but there is some negative Liverpool fans. And and some people are not over the moon by the potential signing of Alexis Mac Allister. I've seen some people say today that he's a Europa League player. He's Europa League level, Liverpool Europa League level, and we bought a Europa League level player. What's your opinion on that, Rick? Because sometimes I think people like to be negative just to be negative, and it just makes it look terrible. Some people have a strong opinion on things and believe that's the case, and I'm fine with that. If you've got a strong opinion about it and you believe that's the case, I can debate that. But there's a certain Twitter account as well. I think we all know who he is, O'Sullivan, who's super negative all the time. And there's tweets out there going like, why ain't Liverpool going into the transfer market for players from Bayern Munich and Juventus and Real Madrid and stuff like that? Why are we shopping at Borussia Mönchengladbach this summer and Nice and Brighton? And, and it doesn't help the cause because people tweet stuff like that and not realise that Man City bought a relegated defender from Bournemouth and, a defender from Spurs and a defender from Everton who only a couple of years before that was at Barnsley. And why do you think that's that negativity around, man?
Attention seeking.
It's mad.
If you could name me realistically, and this goes for City, Real Madrid, realistically, who is out there for centre midfield who's a top player that is available to be bought this summer.
Really?
Forget Jude Bellingham, because Jude Bellingham, English tax, 130 mil. Dortmund, we know how Dortmund operate in terms of selling players. But can you name me players out there who Liverpool should go sign ahead of Mac Allister, who's a World Cup winner? He's 24. He's a mainstay in the Argentina team. Premier League proven. Scores goals, assists. Who's out there in centre midfield that we could go get? That Liverpool could afford. Pedri's not available. Gavi's not available. Kimmich is not available. Goretzka's not available. Tonali's not available. Barella's not available. All these players who are top level are not available because their teams don't want to sell.
No.
So Mac Allister's a very good player.
Yeah.
And Liverpool fans, they just like like on social media. They're not real Liverpool fans. They just want attention. They just want to be negative 24 hours a day. I mean, I've seen who you're on about. I've seen on social media.
Yeah.
I'm sure all he does all day long is just tweets and negative stuff. We're signing Mac Allister and he's still banging the FSG out drum. Listen, I'm FSG out. I'm the first to call it out. But when you're signing players, good players, we've got a World Cup winner coming to our squad. I'm not going to sit there and tweet FSG out. I'm going to be happy that the person who I think should sell the club and leave is buying a player to make the team better. But like I said, go back to the thing. You can't have a conversation with these people on social media to who should Liverpool go sign, who they think. Everyone on social media thinks we should go spend 100 million on each player. If you don't spend 100 million pound on a player, he's not that good. That's what Twitter tells you. Because we're paying 45 million for him, he must be crap.
Yeah. It's just it's madness, ain't it? Look, there's so many good footballers out there in Europe that might not be playing for superstar football teams, but are exceptional talents. Look at little Kevin that Napoli bought last season. Yeah, where did they
buy
buy
him? Got player of the season.
Yeah, where did they buy him from for 10 mil? No one ever heard of him till he went to Napoli and started lighting the shit up. And he's like,
he got player of the season in Italy.
And everyone's like, oh, he's one of the best players in Europe. And so, did anyone go, look, Dortmund bought Lewandowski from a Polish club, for like no money and become one of the greatest strikers of his generation. We've got to stop with this thing that, you could go to, look, we got a player from Real Madrid in the swap deal with Mark Owen that was shocking. Absolutely shocking when we swapped Mark Owen at Real Madrid. We got, what was his name again?
Nunez
from Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Antonio Nunez, 8 mil plus Nunez. He come over here.
It was shocking.
I'm sure he won a raffle to be a football player, because I do not know what Liverpool got in that deal.
It's just mad to me. It's just mad to me. Look, everyone's got their own right to support. I've always said this. Everyone's got their own right to support the football club in their own way, and that's totally true. True. But when we're buying players, look, I'm not happy with FSG at the moment at all. I mean, I've made that entirely clear in my last few videos, the last few months. But I'm not going to start slagging. I'm not going to go on the FSG train when we just look like we're going to buy a World Cup winning quality midfielder. I'm happy. I'm not going to go down any sort of miserable route. I'm not going, I'm happy for Alexis Mac Allister, but still FSG out. What's the point? What's the point right now? Wait till the transfer window ends and see where we are.
Yeah, like I am FSG out. Like I have been for a while now. But if they go to spend 200 million this summer,
beautiful.
You've got no complaints. Like we have no complaints if they spend 200 million this summer on their backing club that we've all asked for the last 2 seasons. They're spending money. So whatever, what can you say to it? Like you can't sit there and then go, "Oh, we'll just spend 200 million," but John Henry, you're still not doing enough. I mean, it's a start. Him spending money. But the money has to be spent on the right players. And if it's not spent on the right players, you can spend 200 million on crap like Man United do every summer. They bought a fidget spinner for 90 million off Ajax to play right wing. All I've seen him do is do 360 turns and nothing else. I mean, they paid 90 million for Jadon Sancho and paying him 350 a week, who Liverpool wanted. We lost out to Jadon Sancho to Man United.
Thank God.
90 million, 350 a week. And then Man United can't spend money, but they spend money on the wrong stuff. If Liverpool spend 200 million and get the recruitment right this summer, we'll be up there challenging Man City next season. I've got no doubt about that, to be fair.
Oh, I agree. Look, I've always said it. It's not how much you spend, it's how wisely you spend it. And look at Chelsea. They spent 600 million in 2 transfer windows, and they finished 12th this year or whatever it was. There was no outcry. There was no outcry from the media about Chelsea, was there? No. And they went through 4 managers, spent 600 million, and finished 12th in the Premier League. Now they got Pochettino in, who's a born loser, right? And he might take them because he does work well with youngsters. He's very good with the youngsters in his team. But Pochettino, if you look at his time at Tottenham, Pochettino likes a sort of like a squad that doesn't keep chopping and changing. He likes quite a settled team, and then he coaches that team, that settled team. That's how it's been his whole career. He gets a settled team, coaches it, and grows it over the next few years. Then he likes to add 1 or 2 to it every now and then just to keep it fresh, yeah? And at Chelsea, that ain't going to be the case because they're just going to buy that player, that player, that player, whoever's trending. They go, they're in the market for Neymar. Why would you go and buy Neymar for Chelsea right now? That's just a player with a profile, an image. You're buying that for image, right? You're buying Neymar for image rights and shirt sales. Is he really going to improve what you want to do right now? Probably not, because the stage of his career. It's madness over there. And when I look at what Liverpool are doing, look, the thing with Liverpool, which annoys me, like the Jude Bellingham stuff, I'm not actually bothered that we didn't buy Jude Bellingham. I'm more bothered about wasting time last year. That's what I'm more bothered about. In fact, I think we might have dodged a bullet with Jude Bellingham because of his knee issue. All right? A 19-year-old that has knee issues is a worry. And in the Premier League, especially in this Liverpool team, where players' legs get tired after a couple of years anyway because of the way Klopp wants to play, a geezer with knee issues at 19, if you've got knee issues, I've got a bad hip, yeah. Everyone knows that. My hip's terrible, yeah. I need a new hip, right? And once that happens, you need to have surgery and have it something replaced. With your knee is never the same. Look at Van Dijk right now. He's never been the same. He hasn't been the same sort of player since the injury. Because it's always on his mind. And we're like, Liverpool could have wasted 120 million on Bellingham this summer and got a one-legged footballer. And I think he's a tremendous player, Jude Bellingham. I wish him all the luck in the world. And he might not have a knee issue for the rest of his career. It might just be this once, and he won't have a knee issue for the rest of the career. But I think Liverpool, with what's happened in the past with transfers, couldn't take that risk and turned their attention elsewhere. And I'm glad they turned their attention elsewhere. Mac Allister coming in. We've got to look at future players coming in now. You said no 6. I agree with you. I actually don't. I'm looking at like Kone and Thuram and Mac Allister. Say Liverpool got a mixture of like Kone, Thuram, and Mac Allister, yeah? Them 3 players, they can defend as a unit in a way.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a midfield that can defend as a unit, do you really, really need an out-and-out 6 right now, Ricky?
I think you're going to see the best of Fabinho again with a new midfield. I don't agree with the hate Fabinho gets. Yes, he massively dropped form last season, like massively fell off a cliff. But let's not forget, Fabinho is doing a 3-man job for 2.5 seasons with Liverpool's midfield issues. So we've killed him ourselves. We started to see a little bit of form in Fabinho in the back end of this season. Started to pick up a little bit. to where we've seen him in parts of games. But you put legs around Fabinho in midfield, it allows him to do the job he's there to do. Break play up and make tackles and just stand there. He ain't got to run around. We don't want him for that. That's why you'll have people like Mac Allister, Kone, or Thuram that will do the running in midfield, which will allow Fabinho to just sit there and do what he's meant to be doing. And then you'll get Trent again, who will be coming next to Fabinho in that formation switch that allows Fabinho to just stand there. And going back to the Jude Bellingham thing, when it broke that we pulled out for Jude Bellingham, I'm not going to sit here and lie, I was fuming when I see that come out, because we've been...
Oh, we was all angry.
We ain't spent money because Jude's the one we're signing. We're saving up for Jude Bellingham.
Yeah. If
we, this summer, get the midfield clock once and the three players, Mac Allister, Kone, Thuram, the kid from Celta Vigo, or someone else, no one's going to moan that we didn't get Jude Bellingham, because I'd rather 3 or 4 than 1, because we need it. Jude Bellingham was a luxury player that we were going to get. Liverpool then realised, hold on, we need 3 or 4 in midfield. The midfield needs a massive rebuild. To Klopp, and they put it to Klopp. Let's not mess about. FSG said to Klopp, do you want Jude Bellingham because that's all you'll get? Or do you want the Jude Bellingham money to go get 3 or 4 and to revamp the midfield? And Klopp obviously, hopefully, he's used his brain and said, I'll get it. We need 3 or 4 instead of just 1, and that's what they've done. I'm hoping Fabinho. It's more hoping that he gets back to his normal self, but again, if he don't, it's only Liverpool's fault in the Fabinho thing that we killed him because he was running after Jordan Henderson and James Milner starting in midfield with him. It's exciting times for a Liverpool fan. We don't have many summers where we're going to sign loads of players. We're always the ones watching other teams do it. So hopefully this season is different. And if we want to be challenging for trophies, we do need to be investing. Like, I see reports that Liverpool, for the last, I think it was 2 seasons, when they've been planning this new stand, it stopped them spending 80 million in the summer.
Stopped to buying
because of the stand. Yeah. So 80 million is a lot of money for a team to go spend on 2 players. That is potentially 2 players, 80 million. So if you're pulling that to one side because of the stadium, I get it, but it shouldn't have been done like that. It should have been the main stand got done. Let's sign a few players to invest in the squad, then do the stand. It wasn't. It was technically, let's do the main stand, let's do the next stand, and hope this midfield can go 5 seasons. And we'll still be up there challenging, but obviously it hasn't worked out. And we took a hit this season. You've also got Elliott in midfield, who can play in the wing as well. You've got Jones who can play there. Listen, I'm not Curtis Jones' biggest fan, but credit where it's due. The back end of the last season, the last 5-6 games, he looked a good player. Elliott, Carvalho, I'm not too sure, and I think we sell him this summer with a buyback clause. I think someone bid 12 mil Leipzig. Liverpool want close to 15 to 20 mil with a buyback option. Carvalho was always one of them signings, the Moneyball situation with FSG. You bring him for a low amount, 7 million. You sell him on for profit. And it turns out we're going to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks because Klopp wants it done early.
No, definitely agree. Gang and deep, big up to the super chat, my friend. I appreciate it. Always love, my friend. Always love. We will spend big because it's an absolute necessity, but will FSG financially improve the squad for sustained success? This is what the cause of us not winning as much as we should have. Look, I agree with that. I think me and Gang Deep spoke about this before, Ricky. Like, FSG got to spend this summer because they have to. You know, FSG like making money. We know what they do is that they love making money. If Liverpool aren't competing at the top of Europeans' elite, they're not going to be making money. So they know they got to bankroll the club this summer. There's no doubt about that. It's a great point, Lo. I think a lot of us feel like we're going to have a very good summer. Get players in There's going to be players we buy in that say maybe some of the fan base don't rate, and there's going to be arguments that player ain't good enough. Why didn't we go for A, B, or C, or stuff like that? Because that always happens, and then they work out to be pretty good. But we're going to have a pretty good summer, and then it's after that, ain't it, Ricky? It's like, they go look at players after that and go, like, next summer, right? We've got quite a few in last summer, but, you know, Thiago's probably going to leave. Henderson might be the last year of his Liverpool career. Fabinho might be coming to the end of his Liverpool career. Then they got to look at investment again. They got to look at the Mo Salah situation. He ain't getting any younger. You got to look at the Andy Robbo situation at left back. He's going to be 30 soon, not going to get any younger. They got to start looking at them areas as well, ain't they?
Yeah, I think once you do the midfield rebuild this season, Salah can still go, I think, a couple more years. Salah's not going to leave purely because of the wage he's on. There's not going to be many teams out there that can afford to pay him that wage at the age he's at. So I think we're good with him for a couple more seasons. People saying sell Salah. Where does the goals come from then? I mean, man's scoring 30 goals a season for us, so it's hard to replace that amount of goals. But it is going to be interesting. We'll probably sign all the players we want. Everyone's looking forward to the season. We get Luton away first game of the season to lose. But Thiago, I think he's got 1 year left on his deal. I think he runs out next summer, and there's talk they're not going to renew it. If you do renew Thiago's deal, you need to tell him there's a wage cut coming.
Yeah,
because you don't play enough. But yeah, I think Thiago will take the Milner role in terms of experience in the changing room. He'll be the next into that leadership group. I mean, he's won the Spanish league, he's won the German league, he's won Champions League. So that experience is vital for people like Bajcetic learning off Thiago, and the young like Elliot Jones all learning off Thiago. It's going to be interesting, but I don't think there'll be a lot of players out this summer. It'll be more next summer. If Sunderland come up, potentially they'll slap a little cheeky bid in for Henderson. That could have potentially happened this summer, but obviously they didn't come up. So who knows?
Hendo ain't going nowhere. Hendo's retiring. I think Hendo's retiring.
I don't know. Sunderland come up to the Premier League, he'll go back to Sunderland for a season in the Premier League.
I thought that about Milner with Leeds, but
Leeds have gone down.
Yeah, I don't even think Milner would have gone to Leeds if they stayed up, because he did the Brighton deal before they went down, didn't he? I mean, I'm not sure. I think I look at Jordan Henderson and think, I think Jordan Henderson's pretty much a Liverpool boy now. I mean, do you know he's going to be in the first team for Liverpool by the time he retires, as long as Steven Gerrard.
He'll start. Watch, we'll get the new 3 centre midfielders, and he'll start on the opening day. And there'll be meltdown. All on social media, there'll be meltdown. Liverpool have spent 150, 200 million on new midfield, and Hendo still starts on the opening day. People on social media will melt down.
I got love Hendo. Got love Hendo.
I love Henderson, but it's
I like him. I like
time's up.
Yeah,
but your time's up. Bobby knew. Look at Bobby. Bobby knew.
Yeah.
We offered Bobby a new deal. Bobby knew it was time to go. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to be like a burden on the club if he come on and flopped.
No.
Everyone was like, the fake fans would be all over him. But Bobby knew he left. Milner still wanted to stay, and Klopp still wanted Milner to stay, which I find bizarre. But yeah, it's got to be. It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping anyway.
Ricky, you got to go, ain't you, my man? Because I think you're
yes
doing another show. So big up to you, Ricky.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No worries, my man. We'll get you on again soon. Guys, don't forget to go 1892 Reds TV. Go and subscribe to the man. Go and get them up to 1,000 subscribers before the start of next season, guys. Be up, Rick.
No worries.
Enjoy your
Appreciate
day, my man. No worries.
Speak soon. Bye.
Yeah, look, I agree with everything like what Ricky is saying. Big up to Ricky as well. Let's get the McAllisters back on the video. There we go. So, guys, how are we all feeling about this? Me and Ricky chatting a bit there about everything now. Let's chat to you guys in the chat. How are we feeling about this? Now, obviously, we haven't got the Axeline yet with the shirt, Jurgen Klopp handshake, cuddle, all that. We haven't got that yet. There's no ink on the paperwork, but by the look of what everyone is saying online at the moment, all the big heads, as soon as Paul Joyce tweeted, as soon as the tweet from Paul Joyce hit Twitter this morning, Liverpool Twitter went mad. And, and then everyone kept following it up. Then Fabrizio Romano, to his credit, I know a lot of people like to laugh at Fabrizio Romano, me included. Fabrizio's been probably right the whole way along with this Mac Allister story. And if Mac Allister's coming into the team, man, it's a massive signing for us. And, I'm looking forward to it. We need a player like him. We need a player like Alexis Mac Allister coming to this football team. But who's after him, guys? If Mac Allister does sign for us for the Mighty Reds, who's next? Who is next? Is it a Thuram? Is it a Kone? There's a lot of things going online at the moment. As of course there is. Let's get some of the things that people are talking about up here. Hang on 1 second. So a lot of people are talking about, obviously there's some quotes by, is it Andy Naylor or something like that? The Brighton reporter is saying that as far as he's concerned, there is no deal for Mac Allister for Liverpool yet. I don't know if you guys have seen anything about that. That has been put around today. I think it's Andy Naylor. I can't remember his name. I'm trying to find him now. Yeah, Andy Naylor. A reminder for evidently untaken what colleague David Ornstein said and wrote on May 8th. Mac Allister's contract as a mechanism which can help to facilitate a move. It isn't a typical release. You offer X, he goes. Brighton have a say over the outcome. So it's an interesting one. It's definitely interesting. Obviously, Andy Naylor is a Brighton. Brighton are, that's his team. That's who he writes for. That's who he's close with. So he's going to maybe say these kind of things. Let me find out what else he said today. The latest information I have, how things stand, according to Brighton, is that nothing is agreed with them in respect to Alexis Mac Allister joining Liverpool. And we've seen reports today from Paul Joyce. I've seen something from David Ornstein today. I can't remember the geezer's name. There's another guy who's been speaking it today as well. And other top-notch journalists have been saying, look, this deal is pretty much done. Apparently, Mac Allister's representation was talking with Liverpool all day today because Mac Allister obviously on holiday. So his dad flew over to England over the weekend. Massive talks ongoing. Because it's a release clause and we don't know how much the release clause is. The rumours is it's between 38 and 40 million quid. Liverpool found a release clause there that maybe not a lot of other teams knew about. Maybe not. There's a lot of teams not knowing about this release clause, and hopefully it gets done, and we get Mac Allister through. But there's obviously a lot of other players, guys, as well. There's a thing here. Mac Allister is among the top 10 players in the Premier League for through balls, possession one in the midfield third, and possession one in the final third. There's also talk today. Now, people keep asking does Jurgen Klopp not play with a number 10? Like we don't play with a number 10. We play 4-3-3. In the 4-3-3, you could play two in a double pivot and one further ahead in that 10 role. But we don't do that. And the reason is because Jurgen Klopp believes the high press is like playing with a number 10. It's equal to playing with a number 10 in that formation with the high press. So that's why he doesn't want to play with number 10s. So, Mac Allister, we know he's very good in that high press situation. You go and watch him at Brighton this season. He's very good at winning the ball back high up the pitch, pressing midfielders, and defenders high up the pitch as well. The opposition midfielders, defenders high up the pitch, winning balls back in transition, and then he's got quality with the football when it matters. So we know this is a case that Mac Allister can play that role. Off the ball, he's excellent. I know a lot of people have been saying, is Mac Allister good enough on the ball, off the ball for what Liverpool want to do? Does he suit Jurgen Klopp's system? Does he get does he suit Jurgen Klopp's system? And I think he does because of the work that he does off the ball. Off the ball is really important in the Jurgen Klopp system. It's the way you press the opposition midfield, the way you press the opposition's back four or back three or whatever they're playing, how you win balls back high in transition, how you counter press. That's very important. You know, Klopp always talks about what Liverpool midfield, what Liverpool players should do off the ball. You know, we didn't do that enough this season. And Mac Allister does that. And then on the ball, he's got quality. We've seen it before. We've seen it all season and last season with Brighton. We've seen it in the World Cup this year as well. So what he did in the World Cup final, putting in an excellent performance. Exceptional, talented little footballer. And we'll probably go get him for around the 40 million mark. So that's great business. Great business by Liverpool. Now, let's talk about other teams. And look, on the ball as well, as what we know says that on the ball, Brighton play a little bit differently to Liverpool, yeah? But off the ball, Liverpool and Brighton play very similar off the ball. You know, it's the off the ball stuff that Liverpool will be looking at with Alexis Mac Allister. And then on the ball, he's got quality to do what he does. Let's talk about other signings because obviously Liverpool need more midfielders. I'm hoping we buy 3 midfielders this summer, but I've got a funny feeling we might buy 2 midfielders and 2 defenders. I've just got this feeling in my head that we're going to buy a right back and a centre back and another midfielder to go with Mac Allister, and it'd be 4 signings. I'd like 5, but I just see it being 4 signings, 2 midfielders and 2 centre backs. I just got that little feeling inside me because I look at the players we have. Thiago's still there, Hendo's still there, Fabinho's still there, Curtis Jones is still there, Harvey Elliott's still there, Tyler Morton will come back, Stefan Bajcetic is still there, you know, doing his thing. And then you bring in 2 new players. That's about max in that midfield area. Then you go and buy 2 defenders. You know, that is that'd be what I'm looking at. That'd be what I'm looking at. Lakers has just said breaking news: Liverpool are still in the race for Mason Mount, and it's up to the player whether he will join Liverpool or Man United. Says Plettergold. Bigger is that Florian Plettenberg Lakers because he's quiet. What do we think on that, guys? What do we think on that? Oh, Liverpool Mason Mount. You know, the Mason Mount rumours went very, very quiet, didn't they? You know, Liverpool Mason Mount sounds like nothing started to happen, and it looked like he was going to Man United. I'll tell you what, I would laugh. I would laugh my head off if Liverpool went and got Mason Mount and Mac Allister when they were both meant to go to Man United. That would make me laugh. But right now, I don't want Mason Mount because I'm looking at players like Kone or Thuram to go with Mac Allister, which for me would be better for what we want to do. But it would make me laugh. I would crack up if Liverpool decided, you know what? No, Mason, we do want you. And somehow they just pull Mason Mount out of thin air and he don't join Man United. I'd crack up. I ain't going to lie. I would laugh my head off. But I don't want him. I think he's going to Man United because he wants Champions League. Although they might be in it next season, but they might not be in the season after. Ugarte. I know a lot of Liverpool fans are upset that Liverpool aren't going in for Ugarte. Now, Chelsea ain't going in for him now either. He's going to PSG. It's weird with his release clause because I always thought with release clauses you had to pay it straight away. But apparently PSG ain't paying it till next summer. I don't know how you do it. Let me know in the live chat, guys, if you know more about this than me. So apparently Ugarte's going to PSG, but they're going to pay his release clause. I thought you had to pay out in one lump sum. But apparently they're going to start the buying for him next summer, but get him this summer. I don't know how it works. It sounds a little dodgy to me. But yeah, apparently Ugarte is going to PSG. And Asensao, is it, from Real Madrid? They're going to PSG as well. I know Villa are interested in him, but it looks like he's going to PSG. Now, the Ugarte stuff has got a lot of people angry. I know a lot of Liverpool fans are angry about this. As I said, I don't know a lot about Ugarte. The stuff I've watched about him, he's quite an aggressive midfielder. He goes to ground a lot. You know, the times I've watched Ugarte, and it's only the times I've watched him. I haven't watched him for like 30 games this season or something like that. The games I've watched Ugarte in, guys, for me, he goes to ground far too much. Now, in a Liverpool system, in the Jurgen Klopp system, I don't know if Ugarte suits Liverpool for the way we want to play. I just don't know if he suits the way we want to play. And, you know, when I watched him for Sporting against Arsenal, I thought he was terrible. You know, he got sent off, I believe. Didn't think he was great. He goes to the ground a lot. I thought he got run around a little bit by Arsenal sometimes. You know, I'm not too sure on him. If it's 52 million and Liverpool think they can get a player like a Kone for like 30 odd million and it suits Liverpool's system better, then go and get the player that suits your system better. It's not always about spending the money on a player. Oh, is it because they're negotiating a bigger price? We know. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, that's fair enough then. Yeah, I've always said it. Yeah, you can spend a lot of money on a player. Yeah, we can go and spend 70 million on that player, 60 million on that player, 70 million on that player, right? But if they fail, you wasted money. If they don't suit the way you want to play, look, Jurgen Klopp will have a system and a setup, right? And when he's talking to these players, because let's face it, all managers and players talk. You know, I know they all say it's tapping up, but I can guarantee you right now, Jurgen Klopp and Mac Allister have had many phone calls, yeah? Right, and they're talking to each other and chatting, selling them the story, selling them the dream, selling them this, telling them the way we want to play around here, how we want to play. Can you adapt to the way we want to play? The answer is yes. Doesn't really matter if they cost 10 million or 50 million. Go and buy that player. It's not being cheap for being cheap's sake. It's actually buying a player that suits the way you want to play. You know, I hear that all the time. Oh, Liverpool just being cheap. They're going cheap shopping. So, Liverpool, Man United bought Anthony from the Dutch league last season, yeah, for close to 80 million, yeah. Liverpool bought Gakpo from the Dutch league in January for 40 million. Gakpo's the better player and suits the way we play, yeah, and settled into Liverpool from January to the end of the season far quicker than Anthony settled into Man United all season. So it's not about who you pick and who you talk to. It's a matter of looking at the right player to fit your club. And Liverpool will spend the money. I've always said this. Liverpool will spend the money if they need to on a player they want. Look, Liverpool broke the world record for a defender at the time. Liverpool broke the world record for a goalkeeper at the time. You know, Alisson Becker, was it 63 million or 60 million or whatever it was? Liverpool broke the goalkeeping record for Alisson Becker. Yeah, Liverpool broke the world record for Virgil van Dijk at the time because they're the players they identified to make this team better and suit the way we play. And then, you know, Chelsea went and broke the world record with Kepa. So Kepa was more expensive than Alisson. This is what I'm saying. It's not, Chelsea fans are like, I remember when Chelsea bought Kepa, Chelsea fans are like, we got the better goalkeeper. You know, our goalkeeper costs 4 more million than your goalkeeper. We got the world record of a goalkeeper. He's better than Alisson, blah, 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 blah. And it's all bollocks, ain't it? Because he's crap. Yeah. Virgil at the time, yeah, look at Virgil now, okay. But Virgil at his time was worth every cent of the 75 million we paid for him. In fact, you can go back now and look at it, and it was almost a bargain. So buying players is not always about who spends the most money. It's who buys the best player for your system. Man United in the last 5 years have spent so much money on players that don't suit the way they want to play and don't suit the system or have no identity. Yeah, and struggled. Liverpool have been buying players that suit their identity and the way they want to play. Now, that's why I'm not bothered. I'm not. Was it 67 for Alisson? It was good. Money well spent, man. 75 Virgil, yeah, exactly. We got Alisson and Virgil Coutinho money, but we still spent that money. This is the thing. This is the thing that gets me a lot, right? And because rival fans hate this, yeah, because apparently Liverpool don't spend money. Liverpool are the fourth highest spenders in Premier League history, by the way. Only Man City, Chelsea, and Man United in Premier League history since 1992 have spent more money than Liverpool. Liverpool are fourth in money spent in the Premier League. Everyone forgets how much money Liverpool wasted in the 90s. Yeah, Liverpool outspent Man United in the 90s. We wasted it. Yeah, trying to catch them. Wasted so much money. And I don't care if you sell a player, you're still using that money to buy a player. And net spend don't exist anyway. There is no such thing as net spend because you're not selling a player for 50 million and getting all that 50 million at once and then going and buying a player for 30 million and spending all that 30 million at once. It's all done in installments. So if it's all done in installments, you're actually means net spend is not a real thing. It doesn't exist. Financial experts have said this all the time. Stop talking about net spend. It's not a real thing. And buy to sell. What people don't seem to understand is selling is very important to your football club. You need to sell players. You need to let players leave. You need to let players leave, guys. If you don't sell players and let players leave, yeah, you're just going to keep players all the time. You know, selling players. Look at Leicester City. I think Ant from Leicester City, from Leicester, and Leicester TV, great guy, knows a lot more about Leicester than I do. Been on channel many times. He'll tell you, Leicester didn't sell well enough. Leicester didn't sell well enough, and that's why the issue they're in. You know, you got to sell. You have to sell. It's part of the process of the business. Yeah. Man City sold more this summer than they bought. You know, I never see anyone saying about that. Man City sell a lot of people every single summer. Yeah. It's not always first team, and sometimes they let youth players go and stuff like that, but they sell them for quite a bit of money. You know, it's not always, mate, people act like City don't sell anyone or let anyone go. It's madness. Everyone sells. Everyone sells. Now, Jamie, you know that selling players doesn't exist. Our fan base are trying to get pelted with tomatoes. I'm worried if you bloody put summer said you mind where. Big up, Henry. How you doing? Look, net spend's not a real thing. There's nothing wrong with it, guys. Net spend's not a real thing. Financial experts all say the same thing. It's just, you know, just the way it is, ain't it? It's just the way it is. You got to sell players. You have to. If you don't sell players, it's part of the business. It's part of the process. And then tomatoes coming. So I don't mind making money back on the player. Like, I don't understand why people get so angry that we make money back from selling players or from buying players. I don't get it. As long as you're selling players that are not needed to your football team no more, or you're selling a player that improves your football. Look, we sold Coutinho and improved our football team. There's not a lot of times when teams sell their star player at the time and spend it wisely. I remember when Tottenham sold Gareth Bale. Look how wasted they spent that money. As long as you spend that money wisely after you recoup it, we've got a far better team. You know, our team grew without Coutinho and got better and better. So I don't actually mind making money back. Look, there's players that have got to leave this summer, guys. Who's going to leave this summer? You know, you got Nat Phillips is potentially going to leave, a Reece Williams potentially going to leave. You know, Joe Gomez maybe, a Matip maybe. You know, we're letting go of like 4 players that are leaving on are leaving for free. We're making no money on them, but all them wages that are being released. You know, Bobby was on like 150 grand, Ox was on 140, Navigator 140. You know, James Milner around the 140 mark as well. That's a lot of money that Liverpool are recruiting. I think what a lot of people forget is not the transfers. You know, when people look at net spend, when, as I said, net spend don't exist, but if you're looking at net spend, why do people never ever, when they talk about net spend, why do they never ever talk about the wages? Because it's the wages that kill you. It's not the transfer fee. It's the wages that absolutely do you in. That's what kills you. It's what killed Leeds United at the time. You got to spend correctly, not within your means. You can spend a bit above your means at times if you're bringing enough money into the football club, of course. But yeah, you got to be wise to the thing. You know, Liverpool got them players that are released. The amount of money Liverpool got to save in that 12 months on them players, you can then put that back in the pot and give Mac Allister Oxlade-Chamberlain's money. You know what I mean? That's a better player straight away. So Ox was 140, 150 grand a week. Straight away, Mac Allister comes in. He's a far better player. He's an upgrade on everyone we got in the midfield. And you give him Ox's wages. Straight away, you've developed your team better. You know, it's the way you got to do business. And I want players in of quality as well. You know, I don't want just players to come in because they're players. There's a transfer window. I love the transfer window. I get excited about the transfer window. You know, Mac Allister like cheered me up today, smiling, happy. Mac Allister deals are possible. Looks like it's going to happen. Quality player. Then I want who's next. It's going to be a massive summer for the Reds. Let's get the next player in. A Thuram. Let's go and get him. Let's go and get Thuram. Let's go and get a Kone. Let's go and get a defender. You know, let's get these players, man. Let's get these players in. Big up Jammer, James Phillips Football Chats. Also, for anyone saying that Naby and Ox weren't sold because the clubs didn't get high enough fee, lacks any kind of critical thinking skill sets, why would a club? Big up Albert. He's wise beyond his years. Big up Albert. Much love, man. Much love. If you were talking about me there in a way, big up to you. I really hope Mac Allister is completed with the quality and not just the body. Yeah, man, yeah. Rather let someone go for free than cash in on them before their contracts expire. Yeah, big up, General. You know, Kone, look, I think the Kone deal. Apparently, so Neil Jones said today, and Paul Joyce just put that wrote. Is it the Telegraph or Independent he writes for? Has said today that Liverpool are very, very, very interested in Kone and Thuram. They're 2 midfielders that have got Liverpool's attention. Apparently, Klopp really likes Thuram. Apparently, I've been reading today. Let me try and find it right now. That Klopp really rates Thuram. Also, apparently, I don't know how true this is. Liverpool are in the race to sign Frank Kessie from Barcelona for 35 million euros. I don't know how true that is. I really don't. I really don't know how true that is. France legend Lilian Thuram is reportedly pushing for his son to join Liverpool. Big up Lilian Thuram. He knows. Lilian Thuram knows, you see. Lilian Thuram knows. Look at Lakers. Me watching you right now. Big up Lakers. Alexis Mac Allister wants Liverpool deal done before he leaves for international duty at the weekend. Player chose Klopp project despite PSG and Man United in advanced talks. Will become first of several arrivals at Liverpool this summer and will take the number 10 shot. 10 shot? 10 shirt. The number 10 shirt. Interesting. He wants it done before the weekend's up. Don't blame him. Don't blame him. So that could keep your eyes out on that, then, guys. It could all be done pretty soon, hopefully. Could be all done pretty soon. There is something I just want to have a look at and talk about, because a lot of people talk about goals in Liverpool's midfield, yeah? Everyone talks about goals in Liverpool's midfield. Liverpool have not got no goal scorers in their midfield. I find it hard to find. Why can we not get goal scorers in our midfield? I think of it another way. I think any good midfielder can be a goal scoring midfielder if you play him to that way. So that's taking like a Gundogan, yeah, at Man City. Gundogan has got, I think, like 8 goals this season, yeah, right? But if you go back to when he played in Germany, before he went to Man City, he only got 16 goals in 152 games. So Gundogan has got, Gundogan, or however you pronounce his name, has got more goals for Manchester City in this season almost than he did in the whole time he played in Germany. In 152 games, he scored 16 goals. So he's got 110 goals in 556 games. So in my opinion, like, because people keep moaning we don't buy attacking minded midfielders. And I say any midfielder can be a goal scoring midfielder if you put them in the right scenario, if you put them in the right position, if you put them in a system that suits them to scoring goals. That, in my opinion, I think you can have a goal scoring midfielder for that reason. For that reason, if Liverpool's midfield, look, Klopp said it so many times. Liverpool's midfield is about the high counter press. It's about the high counter press, because when Liverpool's midfield at their best do that high counter press, they win the ball back in high areas, and then they give the ball to the goal scorers, your Salahs, your Manes and your Bobbies at the time. Yeah. So Liverpool at their best will be a counter pressing midfield that wins the ball up high up to enable the attackers to get the goals. And now, look, Mac Allister will get the odd goal in here and there. There's no doubt about it. You know, if Thuram came to Liverpool, we'd probably get the odd goal here and there. But I don't think we're ever going to get a midfielder in that's apparently a goal scoring midfielder. A goal scoring, I don't think there's a goal scoring midfielders apart from your Gerrards, your Lampards back in the day, and your Paul Scholes and stuff like that. I don't think they exist like people think. I don't think they exist like people think. I think it's the scenario you play midfielders in. If a midfielder has got a lot of talent and a lot of technical talent, and he's got a good shot on him, then you give him a little bit more freedom. You say, right, run into the box, get into the box on the end of crosses, make yourself a nuisance in the box to grab goals. Yeah, like they do with Gundogan at City. Gundogan at City is that he's told to get on the end of crosses, get in the box, attack the spaces in the box, because you're technically a gifted player. You'll score goals. So he's allowed to do that. If he played with more withdrawn and didn't do that, he wouldn't get as many goals. So I think it depends in the situation you put your midfielders in. I think it's a situation you put your midfielders in. If you put them in that situation, you give them the chance to score more goals. So Mac Allister, I think Mac Allister can get 5 or 6 goals in the Premier League next season. I think Thuram, if he came in, could get the same. Yeah, but that's not what they're bought for. That's not what they're entirely bought for. You know what I'm saying? It's you get them in you get players in certain situations to score goals. Steven Gerrard was that. You know, Steven Gerrard was just an exceptional talent that could score goals. Frank Lampard, an exceptional talent, could score goals. Paul Scholes, an exceptional talent, could score goals. But you look at damn midfielders, unless you put them in a certain scenario with technical talent, they will score goals. If you don't, and you make them more withdrawn, yeah, they have to play a different kind of way, they're not going to get the goals that you want them to get. So that's why I get like what I've seen people saying today. Oh, why can't Liverpool go and get a goal scoring midfielder like Ida Gundogan? And it's like he's not actually a goal scoring midfielder. It's the way Man City play him. It's the way Pep Guardiola plays him. He gives him the freedom to get further forward. You know, in the last 10 games or so, Pep's played him like a number 10 or just behind the striker. So he's getting in the areas of the pitch where he can get goals and running into space so he can get the goal because he's got great technical ability. But before that, earlier in the season, he played more withdrawn, like a defensive midfielder, and weren't scoring the goals. You know, it's to say, look, he's got 44 goals in 188 games for Manchester City. 44 goals in 188 games for Manchester City, right? And he got 16 goals in his whole time at Borussia Dortmund. Because that's the player he is. The player is, man. You get these players in certain situations. Albert says, Jamie, can we afford to not buy a decent halfback at number 6? Yeah. If we defend properly as a midfield, I think we can. I do. You know, say we got a Thuram in Albert and a Kone and a Mac Allister, and you got a Henderson, a Fabinho, and a Thiago there, and you're all mixing six midfielders up. I think they can defend well enough as a unit where you don't need an out-and-out 6 this season. I mean, Kone can play as a number 6. Thuram at times has played as a number 6. So they can play there. So they must be defensively good enough. So if you've got players like Thuram, Mac Allister, who is defensively good, Thuram's defensively good, Kone's defensively good, they could defend as a unit where you wouldn't probably need that number 6 this season. I think that's why Liverpool are looking at it. And especially with the Trent situation, if Trent is going to play this false right back role where he's coming inside and becoming a double pivot with next to the other midfielder, that helps it out as well. So, yeah, I think we can this season. But then next summer, I think you need to look for a Fabinho replacement. I agree. It depends on the role the guys are looking at. Yeah, same role Jones was playing last few months. Exactly. So Curtis Jones, we've got Curtis Jones in more goal scoring positions in midfield the last few weeks, and he's been getting goals. But before that, we played Curtis Jones in areas of the pitch that didn't suit him, or he had to play a bit more withdrawn, had a bit more defensive responsibility on him, and he weren't getting goals. You put Curtis Jones in areas of the pitch where he's in more of an attacking area, picking up space in the back post area, picking up space in the box, and he's contributing to goals and assists. That's what I'm saying. It all depends how you play these players. I know Thuram is very attacking, but he's got a good defensive base, Brian. He's got a good. I've watched him a bit, and he has got a good defensive base. Because if you look at Thuram's play, Thuram picks it up quite deep. You know, go back and watch where Thuram picks up the ball when he goes on them marauding runs. He picks it up quite deep in his midfield, you know, and then goes on them marauding runs. And he's a great ball carrier. So that tells me he's got some good defensive ability about himself where he can play as a defensive unit if he needed to. Same with Kone. I think Kone is a bit more defensive minded than Thuram is. I think Kone could be a number 6 and a sitter. I think Kone's got that in his game where he's more of a sitter than Thuram. Thuram's a great ball carrier. If no one's watched Thuram, guys, go and watch Thuram and his ball carrying. He gets that ball and he runs through that midfield. He's a great ball carrier. Great ball carrier. I don't know much about him, Mohammed. Do you know much about him, my friend? Let me know if you know a lot about him. Because I'm not. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know a lot about him. I seriously don't. Megan Rapone makes Henderson look like Zeus. For God's sake. Oh my God. Jurgen Klopp's total spent is 670 679 million at Liverpool. I watched videos of Thuram and he's amazing at bringing the ball forward. Exactly, James Thuram and Kone skill set is a brilliant combination. Exactly. Where Kone's a bit more withdrawn and can sit back a little bit, and Thuram's that bit more explosive and a ball carrier. It marries up perfectly. It's a good combination. And then you got Mac Allister who can do quite the same sort of role. You know, I just feel like that's a great threesome there, and Liverpool should be just going and looking at that and getting them three boys in my opinion. They're the three I want. They're the three I want. Yeah, it's mad when you see how much Klopp has spent and how much Chelsea has spent in the same 12 months. Yeah, it's mad. But look at the money wasted at the same time. Klopp once claimed that counter pressing is more effective than any playmaker. So it's easy to see why he wanted Mac Allister. That is what Klopp has said before. You know, counter pressing is more important to him than a number 10, the way we want to play at our best. So, yeah, he's definitely, I've heard him say that before. Apparently, Thuram has sparked Liverpool moving because he liked the Mac Allister news or something on Instagram. I don't know. I ain't got Instagram and all that nonsense, so I don't know. But apparently, Thuram liked Mac Allister, a post about Mac Allister going to Liverpool, and Thuram liked it. And everyone's a bit like, woo! Let's just get it going. Yeah, the release clause for Mac Allister is lower than reported 45-50 million. That's why I reckon it's between 38 and 40, but we'll never know because it's been undisclosed. Mac Allister with a medical book this week, apparently, in the next 48 hours. Conversations took place with agents of Manu, Kone, Khephren, Thuram, and Gabriel Veiga, is it? Appreciated, but no bid or talks advancing yet. It's step by step, says Fabio Romano. So very, very interesting there, guys. Very interesting there. Liverpool have completed a lot of groundwork in the potential deal for Gabriel Veiga. I'm going to have to look at this guy. I don't know anything about him. I ain't going to lie. I don't get to watch a lot of Italian football these days. Let me have a look at this geezer. Let's have a look at him. Let me go on transfer market. Let's have a look at him. Apparently he's got good stats, so everyone keeps telling me. He's 21 years of age, so that's good because he's that 21 and under age gap. Newcastle apparently interested in him, and the reports coming out right now is that Newcastle reporters think Liverpool have got a head start on Newcastle for the signing of Gabriel Veiga or whatever his name is. So that's an interesting one. Transfer market basically say he plays in that attacking, defensive or central midfield area. So if he's coming to Liverpool, it wouldn't be the number 10 position, would it? He's got 11 goals and 4 assists in 36 La Liga matches this season. In a total of 40 games played, he has scored 11 goals. You know, that ain't too bad. Who does he play for? Is it Celta Vigo? Who does he play for? Celta Vigo, yeah. So he plays for Celta Vigo. His contract expires on the June the 30th, 2026, so 3 years from now. He's got a long time on his contract yet. Transfer market have got him as a valuation of 30 million. Jamie is basically a big lump who breaks from the midfield. Is that what he is? Big up, Edward. Play stuff. Big up to you, man. I hope we do get to Ram. Those three players will bully the likes of Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Wolves. We need to dominate them games more. Kone, Mac, Thuram, Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, Bajcetic, Jones, Elliott. I'll take that for next season. So would I. People compared him to Gabri and Pedro. Fair enough. Remember when Celta Vigo had Mostovoy, Silvano, Gustavo Lopez, Benny McCarthy, Katana. Yeah, man, they were the days. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. I know he plays Spain, Celta Vigo. But that's all I know about him. literally all I know about him. Mate. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend I know a lot about him. I really don't, guys. We are 2 likes away. We are 2 likes away from hitting 200 likes. So if you've not hit the like button yet, guys, please go and hit the like button yet. We need 2 more likes to hit 200. So please go and smash that like button right now. Let's get to 200 likes. Big up. There you go. 200 likes. Big up to the chat. Big up to the chat. Yeah, I mean, that's all I know about him, to be honest, guys. Let me get it up for you guys so you can read it as well. Yeah, I'll get it up on the screen. Let's have a read together. What I'll do, I'll put it on the main screen. I'll take me out. You don't need me in the screen. Let's face it. So this is him here. This is who everyone's going on about. 21 years of age. Only just turned 21 as well. He's got 30 million apparently is his transfer value. There's his stats right there. 36 appearances, 11 goals, 4 assists, 6 yellow cards, no second yellow and 1 red. 35% goal percent, 868 minutes, 74% starting 11. So in the starting 11 this season, he's been in there 74% of the time. He's quite tall, 185. What's that? About 6'2". About 6'2". Yeah, only joined last July. So it'd be an interesting one. Their main position, central midfield, other position, attacking midfield, defensive midfield. And there's his stats there. Don't want to show that, so I get blocked. Where is it? There it is. What the hell happened to Jack Nicholson? Jesus Christ. 36 La Liga games, 11 goals, 4 assists. So 40 games in total he's played, so he's fit as a fiddle. 11 goals, 4 assists. So that's his stats, guys. That's his stats right there. Very skillful attacker. He's not very quick, is he? Is he not very quick? Timothy Parrish in the chat. How you doing, man? Charlton Athletic being sold, so good luck. Big up, Timothy. How you doing, Timothy? How you doing, well, man? It has a release clause. What's his release clause, Lakers? I didn't see it on there. Big up, Daz. Big up. Yeah, smash them likes, guys. Keep them likes coming in if you've not hit that like button yet. Bit of a hothead. Anfield Royal, they did not pay out 602 windows. Oh, right, yeah, installments. Yeah, the installments. It's a 30 million release clause, so maybe that's why Liverpool are interested in him. If it's only a 30 million pound release clause, that might be why Liverpool are very interested in them. Other news. So big up to everyone sending me some DMs. RB Leipzig had an opening bid for Fabio Carvalho turned down. This was back on May the 31st, guys. This was back on May the 31st. So RB Leipzig had an opening bid for Fabio Carvalho turned down by Liverpool as the Reds don't want to let the player leave on a permanent deal. Liverpool could be open to a buyback option clause into the deal. As revealed yesterday, clubs will discuss that soon. And Fabrizio's come back today and said Leipzig are preparing a new bid for Fabio Carvalho after the opening proposal turned down by Liverpool last week. Liverpool don't want to lose Fabio Carvalho on a permanent deal, but a buyback option could be the solution. More to follow. What do we reckon there, guys? What do we reckon with Carvalho? What do we reckon around Carvalho, guys? Should we just go right? That's it. It failed. It's not worth persisting with, and just let him go. What do you think we should do with Carvalho, guys? Let me know in the chat. What should Liverpool legitimately do with Carvalho? Should they just let him go? Should they keep him for next season? Should they let him just go out on loan? What's the situation? Because we know Klopp don't like playing with 10s. Klopp likes as he said, he sees counter pressing as the way to play going forward instead of playing for 10. So what do we do with Carvalho? Do we keep him? Do we send him on loan? Or do we just sell him and put him in a buyback clause if he gets good? Gary says, sell him. If we replace Milner and Cato and Ox and Kone with Kone, Thuram and Mac Allister, that's one of the biggest potential upgrades we've had. That's a huge upgrade, Brian. Big up to you. 30 to 35 million. We need to give him one more season. Brian says sell. Loan and tell him to bulk up. Sell him. Get the buyer back and sell him. Loan to increase his value, then sell next season. I'd have loaned him out this season and give him more. Big up, Edward. That's what we've all been saying. Sell on fee. He's never coming back. Loan Carvalho for 1 to 2 years. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, Carvalho, this summer. What happens there? Leipzig looking like they're very, very interested in him right now. So we will keep our eyes and ears open on that potential deal, guys. But look, Alexis Mac Allister looks like he's going to be part of this Liverpool team next summer. Big things happening, guys. Big players coming in. Hopefully, we see a lot more potential transfers happening. Hopefully, this week we finalise the Mac Allister deal, and also this week we start to hear things about maybe Thuram, maybe about Kone, these sort of players coming in and being part of the mighty Reds as well. But guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I do really, really appreciate it. Guys, I will be back maybe Wednesday evening, so I might do the Conference League, European Conference League final watch along between West Ham and Fiorentina. I will definitely be back Saturday because I'm doing the Champions League final between City and Inter Milan. And if there's any more breaking news out of any other transfer news, or if Mac Allister is officially signed, I'll be back with another video as well, guys. As it is the summer, the videos might not be as much as they usually are, guys. And as news comes out, and I'll do some more news stories or anything like that. But till next time, guys, stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon. Big up to everyone. Much love. Bye-bye.